This is very shocking. A Iraqi man was mauled to death and eaten by his pet lion just days after buying the beast to keep in his back garden. Let's get into the story.
Okay, let's get into this really quite shocking story coming out of Kufa in Iraq. We're talking about a 50-year-old man, Aqil Fakhr, who was, well, killed and even partially eaten by a pet lion. Just awful.
Truly awful. And he'd only bought the lion a few days before this happened.
Right. And our sources, mostly a news report on the incident, suggest this isn't just some, freak one-off event either.
Exactly. It seems to really pull back the curtain on a much larger concern there, the illegal ownership of dangerous wild animals.
So that's what we're going to try and unpack today. We'll look at the details of what happened to Mr. Al-Din, but also, the bigger picture. Why Iraq? Why this problem with illegal wildlife?
And what the wider dangers are, yeah.
Let's start with the attack itself. Kufa, Najaf province. You mentioned he'd kept wild animals before.
Yeah, the report says he had some experience, apparently kept lions even, which maybe suggests a certain level of normalization for this kind of thing, however risky it obviously is.
Risky is an understatement. And this particular lion was a new purchase.
Very recent, yes. And the attack itself, described as brutal and, importantly, unprovoked.
He was trying to, raise it? Tame it?
That's what the reports indicate, yeah. Trying to raise and tame it. It just highlights a fundamental misunderstanding, maybe, of a wild animal's nature.
Definitely. Then a neighbor got involved.
Yes, a neighbor apparently saw what was happening and intervened, shot the lion, reportedly 7 times with a Kalashnikov rifle.
Wow. That's quite an intervention. It speaks volumes about the situation on the ground, perhaps.
It does. And tragically, even though Mr. Al-Din was rushed to Al-Sadr Medical City Hospital, his injuries were just too severe.
And I gather there's some pretty disturbing images and videos circulating online now, too.
Unfortunately, yes, which is only adding to the public's shock and concern.
Understandably.
Yeah.
So what about the authorities? What's their response been?
Well, the police have confirmed the attack happened, and there's an official investigation underway.
Focusing on?
Likely focusing on how he got the lion in the first place, the legality of owning it.
Which brings us right back to that bigger issue, doesn't it?
Exactly. This idea of Iraq being described as a hotspot for this kind of thing. Smuggling native species out, importing dangerous wildlife in.
But wait, didn't Iraq sign the Convention on the Protection of Animals back in 2014?
They did sign it, yes. But signing is one thing, and effective enforcement is quite another.
So what's getting in the way of enforcement?
Well, you have years of conflict, which obviously strains resources and affects regulatory oversight. Plus, there seems to be a growing demand for these exotic animals.
Status symbols, is that it? Private zoos?
That seems to be a big part of it, yeah. Status, collections, sometimes even misguided ideas about power or using them for, informal tourism things. The report mentions falcons, rare birds, desert foxes, and predators like lions, obviously.
It sounds depressingly familiar. Didn't we hear about a similar incident not that long ago? December, maybe?
Yes, that's right. A zookeeper reportedly killed, also by lions. Apparently, he went into the cage trying to impress his girlfriend.
Oh, my goodness. It just underscores the dangers, doesn't it, when people and wild animals mix in these completely unregulated ways.
It really does. A terrible underestimation of their wild instincts.
So, faced with this latest tragedy, are the authorities doing anything different now?
They're making public appeals, it seems, urging people to report if they suspect someone's keeping exotic animals illegally.
And calling for stricter laws, better enforcement.
Calls for both. But stricter laws only work if you can actually enforce them.
True. So public cooperation is key.
Absolutely. Getting the public involved, raising awareness, that seems crucial if they're going to tackle this properly.
So this awful event in Kufa, it's more than just a sad story. It's really a stark warning, isn't it, about the consequences of illegal wildlife trade, keeping wild animals as pets.
It is, and it forces you to ask some hard questions about, regulation, enforcement, but also just our basic relationship with the natural world.
Yeah. What really drives that demand?
Yeah.
Is it just status? Is it a misunderstanding of the animals? Or something else entirely?
Thinking about those motivations might be the key, perhaps, to finding a better balance in the future. Balancing, cultural aspects with animal welfare and crucially,
What safety measures should be taken to keep such beasts in homes? Comment it. Thanks.